Madang Governor renews calls for financial autonomy for provinces. Surgeon says professional women at high risk of developing breast cancer. And by-election underway for Goilala and West Sepik.
This is National EMTV News with Tokana Hasavi.
Good evening and welcome to Tuesday's news. It's good to have your company again. Madang Governor Jim Kuss has issued fresh calls for legislators to look at granting financial autonomy for provinces. Speaking at the opening of a consultative implementation and monitoring committee forum this morning, Kuss said provinces should be allowed to retain internally generated revenues and use it for development. The two-day forum is focusing on sustainability in development. EMTV Scott Bryder reports from Madang.
CIMC forums have been great meeting places for decision makers and people in positions of influence. And this morning, Madang Governor Jim Kuss raised the issue of autonomy once again. He's seeking greater financial autonomy for the Madang province, the ability to capture the revenue that's coming into the province and to keep it within the province for development purposes. Madang is a vital port for Papua New Guinea. It is also an exporter of cocoa, coffee, copra and nickel. But not much of that revenue is kept by the provincial government. Governor Kuss says the current financial arrangements are very restrictive for provinces.
We want the laws changed so that we can have revenue in the provinces. What is making us talk about autonomy is simply because we don't have revenue laws which will give us the freedom to create revenue heads so that we can generate revenue within any given province, especially with huge investments in the province. I believe provinces are missing out on that.
New Ireland and East New Britain, for example, have discussed the idea of autonomy and regional governments. For Madang, the former Chief Justice, Sir Arnold Ahmed, says financial autonomy won't work for Madang.
There's a whole lot of issues about auditing, accountability, transparencies. It's a nightmare. Quite frankly, my views is that it is not time to be talking about autonomy, about financial management. We talk about political autonomy, but financial autonomy is really a complex matter, and I don't think that the provinces are really ready.
Tomorrow, the discussions for sustainability will continue, but the success of this forum and many others like it will only come about if the policies developed here are implemented and the results monitored. Scott Bryder, National EMTV News, Madang.
Madang Governor Jim Kuss says money promised by the national government for provinces' road and bridge damage has not yet arrived in the province. Kuss, who drove into Madang last night, said another lot of travellers may have been stranded again at the wet crossing at Asas along the Ramu-Madang highway, which may have been damaged again. The national government's committed about 30 million kina for repairs. Works engineers have been working against the weather to keep the road open. The provincial-wide consultations for the proposed Lae City Authority draft bill is set to be completed by the end of this month. Morobe Governor Kelly Naru says consultations have already begun with LLG presidents, ward councillors and other reputable organisations in the province. The feedback will be tabled in the Morobe Provincial Assembly before a final report is compiled for the May Parliament sitting. EMTV's Sylvester Gawi has more on this report from Lae.
The draft bill for the proposed Lae City Authority is now being circulated to local level government presidents and ward councillors in Morobe Province to get their feedbacks on the draft bill. Governor Kelly Naru says certain reputable people and groups will be consulted to give their opinions on the proposed city authority for Lae.
Part of the consultation has been done, but that has been done through individual presidents and members and interest groups from the community, basically creating awareness and basically gauging the views of people right across the province.
In the last 2 months, the proposed Lae City Authority bill has become the center of discussion in the Morobe Provincial Assembly. In March, the Provincial Assembly moved a motion for the draft bill to be amended on its current form. Tutumang members also endorsed this province-wide consultation to be carried out immediately and a report on that consultation together with the draft bill will be presented to Tutumang by mid-April for its endorsement.
We need to complete that process within the next couple of weeks, and once that process is completed, a Tutumang will be called, and then from there a position paper submitted to the national government on whether or not the issue of the laicity commission authority is the way forward, and that is a creature and institution that will be in the best interest of the people of Lake City and the ratepayers and visitors, and of course the province as a whole.
The draft Lake City Authority Bill, together with the report, will be presented to the National Executive Council for deliberations and to the Parliament for its enactment in May 2015. Sylvester Gawi, National MTV News, Leh.
Professional working women are at high risk of developing breast cancer. Dr. Arnold Weiner wants working class women to be conscious of their diet to avoid developing the symptoms. He says this trend is quite frightening and women should be taking it seriously.
Breast cancer is among 5 main non-communicable diseases and the third biggest killer among women. The disease is found to be common among women between the ages of 21 to 35 years. Dr. Arnold Weiner of the University of Papua New Guinea Medical School says most of them are professional working women. He says many of them come at an advanced stage, making it difficult for them to be treated.
We found is that amongst all these people that come in, there's a lot more population where they present with cancer. But on the lesser side is that those people that present with cancer, they come in a very advanced states where the hospitals, the health facility in this country cannot able to manage and cannot able to look after them.
On a daily basis, 2 out of 5 women are tested positive for breast cancer. Although there are no statistics to prove that diet is to be blamed for this alarming trend, Weiner says from observation, our lifestyle has deviated from a more traditional diet to a more processed one.
It's unusual. If I compare like this time to 20 years or 20 years ago, there was nothing like this, this kind of figure, surprising figures. I think one of the things we are saying is that we are looking at in terms of the diet, and the diet has changed dramatically over the last 10 years from some kind of traditional garden substance food to modern processed food in the shops. And one of the other things also looking at is that young girls, especially at the age of 8 and 9, they're beginning to see their period, or they're having menarches at the very age of 8 years and 9 years old. Unlike in the old age where ladies do go up to 14 and 15 and they start having their periods. So if you look at this, it's basically to say that it's a diet that's more refined, more processed food that we get from the shops that is now a big factor.
He says Diet Watch is crucial in combating breast cancer and other non-communicable disease. With the support from Hospital Poroman Foundation, Weiner and his team of medical doctors, including Hospital Poroman Foundation, will climb the highest peak in the country, the Mount Wilhelm, to raise funds for a mammogram. Currently, there are only 2 mammogram machines in the country, serving the women population.
So this is our physical work to denote the intensity and the seriousness of this cancer, breast cancer amongst our population.
Mickey Cavera, National MTV News.
Still ahead, by-elections set for the Goilala Open seat and West Sepik provincial seat. I'll bring you all the details and more local news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Good to have you back with National MTV News. The Electoral Commission is gearing up for the Goilala Open and West Sepik provincial seat by-elections, which they hope to conduct in the coming weeks. The Goilala Open seat was left vacant following the death of sitting MP Daniel Mona earlier this year, whilst the West Sepik provincial seat resulted from the Supreme Court's decision to nullify the 2012 election win of Amkat Mai. The Goilala Open by-election is expected to cost 4.6 million kina, while the West Sepik provincial electorate by-election is expected to cost 10 million kina.
The by-elections are expected to commence once the estimated funding is approved and returning officers and assistant returning officers are appointed by the PNGEC. The Electoral Commissioner, Andrew Trowen, said dates for the issuing of writs will be confirmed after consulting the Governor-General. However, the Commission is strongly considering the end of this month or early next month to commence the by-elections. News of the by-election will come as a relief for the people of Goilala, who went as far as raising concerns through the media for the need of a leader to bring much-needed service delivery into the electorate.
For the Goilala open electorate, the Electoral Commission has given ample time to the immediate family, relatives, friends, and the people of the Goilala district to mourn the untimely passing of their member and also to fulfill the customary obligations.
Commissioner Trowen explained that in contrast, the Commission was ordered to immediately conduct a by-election for the West Sepik provincial seat by the Supreme Court, who nullified the 2012 election win of the sitting member Amkat Mai.
The Electoral Commission will only conduct by-elections for open electorates that have their legal matters fully expedited or disposed of by the courts in law or courts of law. While the legal matters is still being dealt with by the competent courts of law, the Electoral Commission will neither plan nor prepare for any by-election that will be amount to contempt of court.
Meanwhile, the Pomio by-election has entered the campaigning stage and is progressing efficiently, with polling set to begin on Saturday the 9th of next month. In the Sinivit Rural LLG supplementary elections, a total of 11 candidates are contesting the president's seat. In the supplementary elections for ward members, Samson Suru was declared winner unopposed, being the only candidate nominated for the Marambu ward, while Christopher Toviri was also declared winner unopposed for the Manigugule ward, and Francis Kokorong for Oval Ward 6. Vanessa Knight, National EMTV News.
Chairman of the Electoral Boundaries Commission, Andrew Trowen, said an immediate amendment needs to be done by Parliament to increase the number of open and provincial electorates. This comes after numerous concerns raised by members of Parliament in the media to review the existing electoral boundaries. Mr. Trowen said the land boundaries review was to commence in 2013, but no funding was appropriated.
Mr. Trowen said concerns were raised by MPs over increased population in their area and equitable distribution of wealth for delivery of basic goods and services and the fair representation in Parliament. However, the Parliament had rejected recommendations made by previous boundaries review commissions, leaving all open electorates to remain the same. The Electoral Boundary Commission had already prepared its review program and is waiting for funding of 19.8 million kina from the government to carry out its work.
Almost 40 years have gone and no reviews have taken place to accommodate for these changes.
Trowen said the boundaries review of provincial and open electorate and LLG and ward councils needs to be done prior to the 2017 election. It will allow an accurate electoral roll to ensure there is fair representation in Parliament and fair distribution of services. The boundaries review will realign the current 2012 national census figures to deal with population density plus the distribution of population in the country.
Previous population has changed very dramatically to 7.3 million as per the 2012 national census figures due to various developments.
Trowen said during the 2011 boundaries review tour to Hela and Juaka provinces, the rural communities were openly critical of government's existence of the lack of basic services in the area. The issue that needs to be addressed is the overlapping of LLGs into other electorate boundaries and the splitting up of bigger electorates by population size. Future reviews need to be conducted by EBC in conjunction with the local and provincial government. Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News.
The Office of Climate Change is embarking on a communication strategy program to spread the message of reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, otherwise abbreviated as REDD, throughout the country. The LCC has engaged a communications consultant to assist with developing a plan to disseminate their information to communities.
Joe Pocana is the manager for the RED Plus program in the Office of Climate Change. He explains that the program has recently received $6.4 million from the UN RED program to assist them with their activities, one of which is the development of the communications plan.
The technical component of it, it's very difficult to go down to the 800 languages that we have, or even the 3 languages that we have, the Pidgin and the Motu. So how do we keep the concept, but it's understandable in the community?
The RED program was introduced into the Office of Climate Change in 2005. Pocana says since then they have established demonstration sites where they monitor the introduction of RED Plus activities into different communities and have drawn some lessons from these sites.
And the first one is our land tenure system. It's quite difficult to carry out the actual work of RED Plus, and that means you have to talk to the people who own the forest. One is to manage expectation. One is very expensive to do this RED Plus because transport costs, all the logistics is quite expensive here in Papua New Guinea. So,
considering the carbon cowboys who hijacked the RED program when it was initially introduced into the country, Pocana says they now have a bill before Parliament which they hope will be passed soon.
So the government say, okay, we set up the office, we build a policy and laws and regulation, and then we can deal with those issues. But while we are doing that, let's put some demonstration project to help us to understand how the system works, and then we can fit that into our laws to ensure that it's working.
Michael Doherty has been hired by the UNDP to work with the RED Plus program to develop their communications plan. Doherty will be in the country for 2 weeks and will draw from his experience working with other countries to develop this strategy.
Very fundamentally, it's about getting clear and consistent information out at a national level, at a provincial level, and at a land ownership level.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
The Indonesian consul in Vanimo, Elmar Lubis, confirmed today that 2 Papua New Guineans were held for marijuana smuggling in Jayapura, Indonesia. He says earlier figures of 17 are yet to be confirmed. The 2 will face Indonesian law.
Marijuana and firearm smuggling is big business along PNG-Indonesian border. In recent times, speculations have been high that 17 Papua New Guineans were being held in Jayapura's Sentani prison for marijuana smuggling. But the Indonesian consul in Vanimo, Elmar Lubis, said he was aware of only 2 PNG men detained in Jayapura for smuggling marijuana. In a phone interview with EMTV, Mr. Lubis says the 2 are charged and will be prosecuted under Indonesian law. While the border trade is open for people in both countries, concerns are being raised for proper surveillance and monitoring along the border.
I urge the government to put modern intelligence systems in there, modernize it, put a strong technological and innovative security management system along the border there, where there's surveillance, applying surveillance technology, but also on the ground.
The need to establish a special police unit for dog handling at the border post is imminent, but the police force needs to re-equip and recruit dog handlers and import more firearms and explosive sniffer dogs to station them at the checkpoints. Sundown Acting Governor Paul Nengai, in a recent interview, said security at the Wutung border post is secure but needs more infrastructure development.
Supposed to go to Wutung, but look, malami bela imitus na. Ako check him all boy. All man kalau Jayapura kalau Wutung sa kung sa magsikampo, lami sa check him. So our security is okay. It's improving very fast.
Quinten Alomp, National EMTV News.
The City Pharmacy Limited Group will be opening the doors to another new retail business, a duty-free store to be called Prouds. The planned new store will be located in the National Airports Corporation's new international terminal. Prouds is expected to be open in June, when it will feature a list of high impressive fashion brands, including Chanel, Dior, Rolex and Gucci, plus an extensive range of international liquor brands.
At the CPL headquarters in Port Moresby this morning, Chairman Mahesh Patel announced that CPL has partnered with Fiji's Motibai group of companies to operate a duty-free shop with the departure and arrival areas of Jackson's International Airport. The duty-free store will operate under the trading name of Prouds.
And this is quite a milestone actually, because for years now Papua New Guinea airports have been quite sort of run down and not up to the international standards. What this will bring is absolute international standards compared to Australia, New Zealand, Singapore. Our joint venture partners from Fiji has been in the duty-free business specifically for the last 43 years. So we've got a real hardcore operator, and our aim really is to be the best airport duty-free in the South Pacific Islands.
CPL is aiming to open Prouds in June, right before the Pacific Games. It will feature high-fashion brands and an extensive range of international liquor brands.
From Christian Dior to YSL to Estee Lauder to Rolex watches to Swarovski crystal jewelry to Lindt chocolates, international brands of liquor and tobacco. So there's a whole gamut of things, and I think it will really is going to be state-of-the-art, and it's basically going to blow the travelers away. I mean, you will no longer need to hopefully shop in Cairns or Brisbane.
CPL Group is the country's biggest multi-format retailer, operating under different business segments: pharmacies, supermarkets, hardware stores, coffee shops, and a pizza chain. Mr. Patel said the new business venture only proves CPL's commitment to the PNG market by bringing the best of retail. Delhi Bagu, National, EMTV News.
And now we check out the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3725 in the interbank market, and at Bank South Pacific, our kina was fetching $0.365, $0.4776 Australian dollars, €0.3409 euro, and 43.38 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, cocoa and copper closed the day higher, while coffee and gold closed the day lower. Palm oil and copper closed lower as well, while crude oil closed the day higher. And finally, on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 80 points lower, the ASX closed at 17 points lower, and the All Ordinaries closed at 14 points lower. Among stories coming up after the break, the journey continues for the oil search baton relay. Stay with us for that and more. Thanks for your company and welcome back to National EMTV News. Players in the information and communication technology sector have been called on to ensure internet access is available to rural PNG by 2020. Deputy Secretary for Policy with the Department of Communication and Information, Korakan Levy, made the comments today. This follows his return from the 10th Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation's Telecommunication and Information Ministers meeting in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Back from the APEC Telecommunication and Information Working Group meeting in Malaysia, Mr. Levy said the cost of doing business in PNG is high when it comes to using ICT, especially when accessing the internet. With the upcoming international event to be hosted in PNG and for the country to be on par with our visitors, Mr. Levy said the country has to come up with ways to increase accessibility and decrease costs.
I would like to challenge the players in the industry, especially within the information communication technology industry, to pull up the socks and advise the government on the way forward, so we can make information available to all the people within the country and affordable to the people.
He said as the lead government agency, the Department of Communication and Information wants to see the industry players, including regulator NICTA, Telecom PNG, B-Mobile and Digicel, come up with a policy and regulatory framework to boost digital economy in the country.
It's basically infrastructure that is not connecting the entire country. We have to work as a team to improve the ICT in the country. Telecom, Dataco, NBC, NICTA board, Department of Communication Information, we will have to work together to come up with very strategic, workable policies that can address the ever-increasing ICT development in the country.
Mr. Levy said the APEC-TEL working group from the 21 APEC member economies have finalized a new 5-year plan for maximizing the potential of the internet to unlock next-generation growth across Asia-Pacific economies. Delhi Bagu, National EMTV News.
The mendi-munhui district of the Southern Highlands province cleared its 2014 DSIP acquittals today. MP De Kewanu says the district has put over 50% of DSIP funds into infrastructure developments. 4 LLG presidents of the district also presented their reports to the Department of Implementation and Rural Development.
The district's priority for 2013 to 2014 was solely on road developments and building bridges. In summarizing the 2014 DSIP acquittals, MP De Kewanu says the district's developments are a new chapter for Mendi.
Without roads, you can't get the health services. You can't get the economic sector going. You can't get the law and order going. You can't get the other sectors going without roads. So roads has been a priority for me. So I've seen that I have to spend a little bit over 50%.
The MP praised local contractors engaged with his district administration to carry out projects in the district's 4 LLGs. Roads were upgraded and footbridges erected to connect people scattered throughout rural Mendi. All these were part of the district's development plan.
Having the heart of the people at heart by contractors and taking ownership, that makes a difference. So I'm seeing that people, my contractors, people on the ground have been taking ownership. That made a difference for me.
The 4 LLGs also presented their reports. Current LLG President Simon Tolpe says for the first time, services are being delivered to remote areas of the district. He says once government services are reaching people, other sectors like law and order, which was once a problem for the district, will be addressed.
Mendi-munhui, one block walk inside law and order, we will make him long enemy. Help him all youth, we will him change him, we will root him at Maruana. Where all members the box at rule of president na and sabote disla program now I'm all attitude young blah 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 change.
Receiving the report, Deputy Secretary for the Department of Implementation and Rural Development, Badira Varis, says the inclusion of LLG presidents to present their reports is part of the DSIP guidelines. Varis says the district has complied with the department's policies on DSIP funds and acquittals.
Transparency is very, very important, and we want to praise you, Honorable Member, your district administrator, for bringing your presidents with you.
Stanley Over Jr., National EMTV News.
The Japanese ambassador, Morio Matsumoto, today visited the Bukawa Road to inspect the progress of the road's rehabilitation. It comes after the Japanese government, through JICA, donated machinery to the Works Department to construct and fix roads around the Momasa region. Locals in the area say the road improvements has helped by making their lives better.
The state of the Bukawa Road has improved. With it, the lives of people living along one of Morobe's major road links. Villagers say goods and services are slowly reaching them along this road. Local PMVs are also traveling along the road that used to give a lot of problems to vehicle owners. Costs of maintaining and replacing spare parts have reduced, meaning more PMVs are traveling along the road. The improvement of the Bukawa Road comes after a JICA-funded program that provide machinery throughout the Momasa region, parts of the New Guinea Islands and the Highlands region. These machineries have ensured that roads around these regions have been improved. For the Morobe province, the impact is showing along this road. People's lives are slowly changing. Provincial Works Manager Kingsford Carson says the work on the Bukawa Road shows that the Provincial Works Department can fix other roads throughout the Morobe province.
We estimated the project to be around 9.7 million. Initial allocation of 2 million has been made last year. We've been working with that allocation, and now we still anticipate the other lot of funds to come. The initial plan of the program was to bring the road up to a gravel state.
Japanese Ambassador Morio Matsumoto says the Japanese government will continue to partner with the PNG government to deliver impact projects throughout the country.
Numbers of projects which are now under consideration together with the Papua New Guinea government, central government. So you can see more and more projects could be done by both Japan and Papua New Guinea cooperation.
The Japanese government-funded machinery also came with technical support. The machinery have also been deployed to the East Sepik province and Madang province, including parts of the Western Highlands and the West New Britain province. Bethany Harriman, National EMTV News, Lae.
And our bulletin continues with Trukai Sports, which is coming up next, and we'll show you Hekari's winning performance against Vanuatu and profile one of Papua New Guinea's best strikers. Stay tuned for that and more.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. In the Oceania Champions League played on Sunday, PNG's Hekari United beat Vanuatu's Tafea 3-2. In the other match, Team Wellington beat AS Stefana from Tahiti 2-1. Both matches were played on Sunday in Suva in Fiji. The tables have turned for Vanuatu's Tefea this time. In the previous OFC meet, they beat Hekari 3-1. MTV's Shane Saroya has more.
Tafea FC from Vanuatu taking on Hekari.
Hekari United took on their arch-rivals Tafea FC on the second day of the OFC Champions League. Tafea beat Hekari in the previous OFC meet in Ba, Fiji. Coach Jerry Allen said he went there with the mindset that they must win, and his boys did not disappoint.
Yes, I'm really happy because what we need is the 3 points, and the boys managed to done it today, and hopefully we'll look forward for the next game.
From a Tommy Sammy cross past the face of Tafea's goalkeeper to waiting striker Dennis Ifuanoa, who smashed the opening goal. Tafea was left searching for equalizer in the 8-minute period when PNG's under-23 striker Tommy Sammy blasted his shot past a diving Seloni Laruel for his side's second. The third goal came from Joaquim Warri's pass that found Alik Maimai to finish at the back post in the 54th minute. Tafea's goal came from former Hekari striker Jean Kaltak, who made the substitute and impressed the coach with his impressive 2 goals. Hekari, with a comfortable 3-point lead, will take on Wellington FC on Wednesday, and it's a must-win game as teams also battle for the second qualifier, as only one spot available for the Group C matches resume. Hekari's coach Jerry Allen said the next match will be against Wellington FC, a New Zealand team. He said he spent time in New Zealand and knows how they play, so the Hekari boys will try to hold them down. The team maintains the original squad despite minor injury concern from the players. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Still in soccer, Lae City Dwellers captain Raymond Gunemba has encouraged young soccer players in the country to humble themselves, be committed to training and put God first in everything they do. He wants to see many young PNG players moving on to play in bigger competitions abroad and make soccer become their career. Gunemba is one of Papua New Guinea's best strikers in the Telecom National Soccer League competition.
One would wonder why Raymond Gunemba is a crowd favorite in every soccer game. He is one of Papua New Guinea's best strikers, and his speed and ability to score goals in every NSL game is a trademark for this young man from Morobe. Raymond and strike partner Nigel Dabinjaba are now the leading goal scorers in the 2015 NSL competition after round 11. Both men have left Hekari United FC to join Lae City Dwellers with one aim. That is to develop young talents to rise up and achieve their dreams in soccer.
I'm only me played, committee me training, and we play something. Put the big man go pass because I'm so strong at something. Then you will achieve him dream doing when a goal you set him the kissing.
Raymond's leadership and commitment to his team of mostly inexperienced NSL players is becoming a success for many. The Lae City Dwellers have been performing extremely well in the last games, and many new players have stood out in the competition. One of the club's biggest aims is to make it into the finals in its first year of NSL. The players have shown their commitment in training and winning games consecutively in the competition.
Training when I'm up and down of voices, but one bell, the unity of the team, put the big man go pass this time, just helping big straight team.
The Dwellers now sits at second place on the NSL ladder and will be looking at winning the last 2 games to get the minor premiership trophy. They are playing champions Ekari United in the last game of the season. A win over Ekari will qualify them for a spot in the Oceania League Challenge. Sylvester Gawi, National EMTV Sports, Ley.
To Rugby League in NRL, the North Queensland Cowboys last night crushed the 2014 Premiers South Sydney Rabbitohs 30 points to 12 in round 6 of the NRL. Jonathan Thurston bagged a double, assisted in 2 others and slotted 4 conversions to see the Cowboys cruise to victory. The champion halfback's 16-point performance lifted the Cowboys into a 6-way point share in 6th spot.
The reigning premiers were first to post points on the scoreboard when Dave Tyrrell crashed through Jason Tamalolo for a soft try next to the post 2 minutes into the game.
Here is Tyrrell getting across the line.
It wasn't long before Jonathan Thurston got the Cowboys back in the contest with a pinpoint crossfield kick for leaping winger Justin O'Neill.
What a chance for Justin O'Neill! Up above them, and he grabs the Cowboys opening.
But soon after, a pass from Thurston landed in the arms of Isaac Luke, who raced 40 meters clear to put the Rabbitohs deep in attack. And moments later, Alex Johnson extended South Sydney's lead 12 points to 4.
It's to Johnston. There he is.
Down by 8 after half-time, Thurston in the opening minutes of the second half ran away scoring under the post.
In the opening set of this second half through Jonathan Thurston.
And 7 minutes later, leveled the score 12-all from a penalty.
Better kick this time around though, flags up.
The Cowboys then took the lead when Antonio Winterstein scored in the corner after 55 minutes.
Hands. Cooper gives it to Coot. Leonard away to Winterstein. That is beautiful.
Thurston then fittingly clinched the victory when Morgan put him over 7 minutes before hooker Jake Granville dashed 70 meters from dummy half, earning the Cowboys' 5th try.
He's got some speed and he'll go all the way.
Dion Combang, National EMTV Sports.
The National Rugby League has embraced the code as a tool for development within the Pacific region. Last week, the Pacific Outreach Program under the NRL and in alignment with the League Belong Life program received 500,000 Australian dollars from the Australian government. These funds will go towards ensuring the rollout of development programs in Samoa, Fiji, Tonga and PNG.
While the funding of $500,000 has been pledged to fund the Pacific Outreach Program throughout 4 Pacific Island nations, Papua New Guinea's League Belong Life program, delivered by the Australian National Rugby League, is also funded by the Australian government. At present, the League Belong Life Sport for Development program has only been launched in Port Moresby and the autonomous region of Bougainville so far in 2015. The development program uses rugby league to deliver programs around health, social issues and, most importantly, education.
The program itself is in NCD in 4 other schools. We're at Noblet Primary School, Porebo, Morata. So apart from the other 3 centres that were in throughout the country.
While the primary focus is on using the program to keep children in school, it also encourages mass participation throughout the wider communities.
The League Belong Life program is about giving the opportunity to girls and boys to participate in rugby league, and our main primary objective is probably to have educational outcomes, to see that we enhance students' ability in classroom and using rugby league as the vehicle.
As of January 2015, more than 17,000 students, 48% female, and more than 500 teachers, 70% female, from 34 schools had participated in the program. By mid-2016, the program aims to have reached 60,000 students and trained 750 teachers from 100 schools. Lorraine Genia, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues. We'll give you updates on the 2015 games. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Good to have you back with Trukai Sports. Minister for Finance, James Marape, has dispelled claims and concerns raised by Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Basil on the use of funds for the games venues. The minister said infrastructure funds have already been released and the venues will be prepared in ample time. EMTV Shane Saroya with this report.
For 2015 SB Games will be ready by July 4, 2015, and that is the assurance the O'Neill Dion government can give. And I, as Finance Minister, sitting in the seat whereby we're releasing money for all the infrastructures.
Minister for Finance James Marape has ensured the stability of the current construction work for 2015 Pacific Games venues and infrastructures. His comments came after Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Basil pledged the opposition's support.
As well as the physical infrastructures of the game. Let me dispel the concerns raised by members of our society, especially the Deputy Opposition Leader, who continues to talk on issues that he knows very little about.
In defense, Marape says the bid to host the games were not endorsed by O'Neill Dion government and as a result had committed themselves towards building the games in a short time frame.
To deliver this game, and let me assure every Papua New Guineans that by July 4, 2015, the main stadiums in the Sir John Guy Stadium that is currently undergoing, the Taroma swimming pools.
Despite the growing political and public concern over the completion of the games venues, Marape says the payments have been made and the Deputy Opposition Leader Sam Bashir should not talk about something he knows little about. The minister said funds have been released for the construction work of the games venues and for a prompt opening on the 4th of July. Shane Saroya, National, EMTV Sports.
Well, Sunday marked the beginning of a new era for the Royal Papua Yacht Club. Former Aba MP Kilroy Kenya has become the first Papua New Guinean to lead the club as Commodore. Sailboats, hobby cats and motorboats attended the sail past, where Kenya made clear his plans to re-establish water sports in Port Moresby.
The sail pass yesterday was an official launching of the sailing boat season for 2015. Newly appointed Commodore Kilori Genia said he envisioned the Royal Papua Yacht Club to be a premier yachting and boating club in the country and preferred club of choice in the community. Already the sport of va'a and hobby cat sailing is being practiced within the vicinity of the Royal Papua Yacht Club as sports included for the 2015 Pacific Games. However, over the years, very little emphasis has been placed on the need for more water sport activities. Here, the Yacht Club plans on developing their facilities with the aim of becoming the preferred venue for water sports. Shane Saroya, National, EMTV Sports.
The All Search Pacific Games baton relay travelled to Yonki in the Eastern Highlands province today after a colourful welcome in Goroka. The team was taken underground to the PNG Power Limited Yonki Dam Generation Hall, just 230 metres underground. The baton was passed by 150 runners through all the PPL operations, including the underground General Hall, across the Yonki Dam itself and up a power pole. The All Search Pacific Games relay continues its journey throughout the country as Kundiawa welcomes the baton into their community tomorrow. We hope to bring you the pictures tomorrow as well. And that's how we wrap up our sports segment tonight. Stay tuned for the weather details coming up next.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
A quick look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in southern region, the nation's capital, to expect partly cloudy weather at times with chances of light showers. In Momasa and Lae City, rain with possible thunderstorms, showers in Madang. In the New Guinea Islands, thundery showers expected in Kimbe, Keveng, Kokopo and Buka. And lastly, in the Highlands region, thundery showers, then morning fog for Mendi and Wabeg. Well, that's been National EMTV News tonight. On behalf of the entire news crew, I'm Tokana Hasavi. Thanks heaps for your company. You take care and stay safe. Good night.